So I thought it'd be fun to come on here and talk about Final Fantasy Rebirth again because honestly, I can't get enough of it. And in this particular video, I wanted to talk about a moment in the game that almost broke me. It was almost the breaking point for me where I quit the game. And that moment was none other than the fight with Rufus at the Golden Saucer. Now, anyone that's played the game, I'm sure knows what moment I'm talking about, and this video is for those people. I mean, if you haven't played the game, you're more than welcome to stick around and listen to the story. I'm sure you'll get some enjoyment out of it. You'll probably have no clue what I'm talking about, but either way, let's get started. Now, up until this point, you've basically made it, I would say, about 83% of your way through the game. And you've got a pretty good feel of Final Fantasy Rebirth at this point. You've done many games, you've had tough boss fights, you've had tough stretches of fighting enemies that are just kind of a pain in the ass to deal with, managing a team, learning all their different strengths and abilities, and building up your materia, your weapons. I mean, you basically get what I'm going for. Like, you're pretty experienced with the game at this point, and you've seen about it all, you know, to a degree. I know the battle with Sephiroth is coming up, so obviously this fight with Rufus is kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a battleground, a testing ground, kind of like a building block to test if you're ready for that last chapter, because I'm sure it's going to be intense, because the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake, that ending fight with Sephiroth it almost broke me in that game. I had to step away from it for a week or so. And the same thing with this fight. I tried it many times. I would say at least 10 times ish originally when I played, or I got to this point with the Rufus fight about a month and a half ago before I took a break from it. And basically, let's break down this fight a little bit. So you get to the Golden Saucer, there's a lot going on. I'm not going to get into that whole aspect, but basically you have to fight Elena and Rude first, and you have to make it through them before you even get to Rufus.
We're just getting warmed up. Right, Rude?
Yeah. This fight's far from over.
It takes you a minute to get a feel how to beat them, too. You know, you have to conquer that part of the battle, which didn't take me that long, to be honest with you. It wasn't that difficult. You just need to take out Elena first, put a lot of pressure on her, and take her out as quick as possible, because they do have this, like, second phase where they can do, it's like their special attack they do, and it takes you out in one hit if you let them build up and hit you with it. So I learned to just take out Elena as fast as possible and not give them that opportunity. And then once you have her out of the way, Rude is not an issue at all. You basically just overwhelm them with attacks. You know, I mostly use Tifa and Cloud against Elena. Make sure you want to do as much damage to her as possible, switching between the two characters, letting Aerith kind of heal you, using her as my healer, and then, you know, soul drain and things of like that nature, kind of hitting them with some spells from a distance. And then once you get past that aspect, then you get to the Rufus fight, which I love Rufus, to be honest with you. I thought he was one of the coolest characters in Final Fantasy Remake. Just one of the funnest fights in the entire series, in the franchise, in my opinion. Until you get to this one. Man, this fight, you know, my first instinct is to try to parry him, you know, and I could just not find the timing, and the parry was not working. He kept just parrying the shit out of me. I couldn't hit him at all. You know, the first 5 times I probably fought him, and you really have to be on your horse. You really have to be moving for this fight. You cannot sit around and be stagnant, or he will just chop you down and just eat you alive. You know, he will take damage down quickly on you, inflict a lot of damage, and he's very difficult to hit. So I basically got to the point where I was so frustrated and couldn't put any damage on him or anything, and I didn't want to look up a guide at this point. So I just stepped away from it altogether. I was like, you know, I've put nearly 70 hours into this game at this point. I think I need a little bit of a break. Sometimes that can be the healthiest and wisest decision you can make, is just to step away from a little bit, get away from it for a little bit. And that's what I did. I played Ghost of Tsushima. I played, a little bit of Final Fantasy IX. Sorry, I've had this randomly playing in the background. You're probably like, why do I have that playing? Because it's awesome, for one, and everyone's talking about the remake, and I don't want to go off on a tangent about Final Fantasy IX, but I'm kind of playing through it too and really enjoying it. But anyways, I stepped away from Rebirth and played some other games, and then decided to finally come back to it about 2 nights ago. And let me tell you about that experience. So at first, I did the noble thing and I jumped back in there. Tried to beat him myself. Once again, I could not figure it out. I could not figure out what the hell to do. So I got online and finally bit the bullet, because I want to get past this part of the game and finish the game. So I looked up a little video about how to beat him, and I guess I didn't even realize it the first handful of times I was fighting him, but you know, he has this reload phase, and that's the only time you can really get in there and kind of stagger him and stun lock him enough where you can inflict a lot of damage and build that stagger up. And I figured out, you know, that's obviously the easiest way to inflict damage on him and stagger him enough where you can really bring his health down. But it still is a pain in the ass. I mean, you are constantly on your horse, moving, rolling, dodging, and you have to kind of get this rhythm down with it too, where, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost like 5 hits, and then there's like a slow down point in the action when you're hitting him, where you basically have to roll and reset and then start hitting him again. You know, sometimes he'll fire off a couple shots real quick, and then he'll get back in that reload phase, and then you can start hitting him again. But basically, you want to rinse and repeat that. Outside of that, you know, what did I do? Oh, I think Braver will also stagger him if you want to kind of use that method, but it's kind of risky. I like just kind of flying in when he's reloading and then trying to get a couple shots off right there, and then kind of resetting, rolling, getting out of the way of more shots, then going back in for a second attack on him. And he does have a second phase, and of course he brings out Darkstar, I think is his name, the dog. And of course you want to try to take him out first, so all my attention went over to Darkstar, and triple dash, triple slash, I'm drawing a blank. Whatever that move is, I kind of just kept trying to spam that attack on him until I could stagger him and get him out of the way. And then it's back to the chopping block with old Rufus, and just rinse and repeat. Go in when he's trying to reload, smack him down, just put that pressure on him. You gotta bring the battle to him. You can't let him bring it to you, because he will eat you alive. And I think this is just a small sample size of what's ahead of me, because I haven't finished the game yet. I'm making my way through it now. I'm trying to soak up some of these side missions before I progress the story and get to the end of the game, because now that I'm playing it again, I've had a little bit of break. I'm having a lot of fun with it again, and I'm really getting back into it. I want to play some Queen's Blood again. Haven't played that in over a month. But I just want to get on here and talk about that, because you know, the comments I've read on Reddit and just online with YouTube videos and stuff like that kind of seems I'm not the only one that has this perspective. So comment down below if you're another person that had a little bit of trouble with Rufus in this Rebirth experience on your first playthrough. Once you get the hang of it and the timing down, he's pretty easy. But that's the whole challenge of these first playthroughs. You don't know how to attack these different bosses at times, and you really got to be strategic. You really got to use all your materia, your weapons, and your strategy, and your items, and your preparation, and all that stuff has to be taken into account. It really pushes you to become a complete player, which I like. I like challenges like this. It's what makes the game interesting and fun. These games are harder than people talk about too. It's a lot to kind of take in, especially if you don't play a lot of JRPGs or just RPGs in general. But anyways, I'm gonna stop yapping now and kind of end the video there. I really hope we get a Final Fantasy IX remake. I would love that. Really liking the characters, the music, and the gameplay to Final Fantasy IX, the original one. Playing that bad boy on the PlayStation 1 how it should be. So that's cool. Anyways, you're cool too. Thanks for coming around, watching this video. Comment, subscribe, like, all that fun stuff if you want to. And if not, maybe I'll see you around. Till next time, stay blessed, my friends.